Australia, 8:30 in the evening Rio time. Well, the ball has been picked up by the umpire Stephanie Giuffina of the United States of America. Blowing the whistle with her is Kylie Seymour of Australia. And here come the two teams now out onto the park for their final match in this 2016 Women's Hockey Champions Trophy. Another good crowd here at the Lee Valley Hockey and Tennis Centre, and certainly Great Britain, who have disappointed thus far, will want to finish on a high. Right, teams are out. Let's have the national anthems. New Zealand's first, and then Great Britain's.
Please will you stand for the national anthem of New Zealand. And please remain standing for the national anthem of Great Britain.
So the third meeting in the Champions Trophy between these two teams. They've shared the first two, one win apiece, but more importantly for New Zealand, their win came only a matter of days ago here at the Lee Valley Hockey and Tennis Centre. Let's have a look at the two sides, starting with New Zealand. And there's a change in goal. Amelia Gibson has got the nod on our team sheet here, and she'll be looking to impress, having come on in the second half against Argentina. They've only scored 7 goals, New Zealand, and they've let in 14, the most of any nation in the tournament. As for Great Britain, well, there's no change for them in goal. Maddie Hinch will start under the bar, but there's been a real lack of cutting edge for the home nation. Just 3 goals scored in the 5 group games. They have to do better. They must do better. So here are the respective benches for the two nations. Mark Hagar, the head coach for the Black Sticks. Danny Carey, the head coach for Great Britain. Overall, this is the 20th meeting between New Zealand and Great Britain. Great Britain have won 11. There has been one draw and there have been 7 losses to New Zealand. A confirmation that it is Gibson in goal for the Black Sticks here for this 5th-6th playoff match. Well, another great atmosphere as the wire cam pulls back, and Great Britain have started slowly in matches in this tournament, none more so than in their pool match against New Zealand when they conceded inside 40 seconds to Stacey Mickelson, and then huff and puff as they might, they couldn't break the Black Sticks down. Can they do better today? It's Alex Danson and Great Britain that get us underway, attacking the goal to our right-hand side in the all-red strip, and joining me, Charlie Room, in the commentary box for this one, it is the bronze medal winner from the hockey tournament at the London Games, Sarah Thomas. And Sarah, it's been disappointing for both teams, but probably a bit more for Great Britain, as Sophie Bray does well and feeds it into Danson. Danson has support, Richardson Walsh goes back for Bray, and Whitelock is there to just snuff out the danger, but Great Britain doing to New Zealand there, or almost doing what New Zealand did to them in the pool game.
Yeah, GB certainly have been disappointed with their performance this tournament. I mean, they know they've got a lot more to give, and I'm hoping today we'll see that. I know as a player, certainly, you know, you always want to win that last game of a tournament and go away feeling positive, especially when they're 40 days out from Rio Olympics now. They'll certainly be trying to achieve that on the field today.
Into Unsworth. And Unsworth wins the sideline ball off Flynn. And it's nice to see some shadows on the pitch.
It's been crazy weather this week.
Through Gemma Flynn, play on. Sophie Bray, who's been one of the bright sparks for Great Britain in this tournament.
Yeah, she's been really good, hasn't she? I mean, as an individual, she can carry the ball at really good angles, gets the ball in the air and causes the opposition's defence all sorts of problems.
I guess the other point is, so looking at the bottom of your screen, that people are a bit disappointed with the way Great Britain performed, but you know, should they lose here, they're only playing to their world ranking.
Yeah, exactly, and I think the expectations have been set, I guess, from London 2012 Olympics, when, you know, in those 4 years between Beijing and London, we rose from 12th in the world to 3rd in the world, well, 4th in the world, winning the bronze medal. So yeah, they took a bit of a nosedive after the World Cup, but you know, these girls are capable of being top 3, top 4 for sure, but yeah, world rankings don't show that at the moment.
Danson trying to rob the ball. And I guess also the expectation the last time there was a major tournament here, the Europeans in August last year, Great Britain walked away with a gold medal. But there's a chance now, Cox through the middle and Hinchwall, she just gets the trailing foot to it and denies the Black Sticks, but it's almost another disastrous start for Great Britain. The ball is not out of the danger zone just yet because the Black Sticks come again through Harrison, who wings the long corner.
Yeah, it certainly has to be a real focus for GB in these initial moments. They've conceded a number of goals in the first 5 minutes of games these tournaments, so they need to be really tight and focused, concentrated back in there in defence.
Well, just at the bottom there you can see one win apiece, no draws. Well, that no draws is going to stay, because should we be level at full time, we will go to a shootout. Whitelock fires it in and away from Georgie Twigg for a long corner, which Cadell will take. Cadell running at Sophie Bray, into the arm from Cadell, into the foot of Sophie Bray, and it is a 16 or a free hit to New Zealand. Brooke Neal in towards Gemma Flynn, and Unsworth is there, and Helen Richardson-Walsh completes the clearance, and Kate Richardson-Walsh wins the sideline ball.
Yeah, good clearance there from GB, but positive signs from New Zealand. For me, they tend to attack too much through the centre of the field sometimes, and getting the ball out wide and creating different opportunities for themselves is where I think they can cause GB some problems today.
Gemma Flynn goes to ground up against Owsley, and Susanna Townsend leaves it to Owsley, back again, and Owsley can't pick it up on the reverse stick, and It's half cleared. Flynn is back again. McLaren with the first touch for the Black Sticks. Here is Webb. Okay, Richardson Walsh. Sam Queck, who had to leave the pitch yesterday against Australia to receive some stitches, came back on at half-time, and she's on again here today. That's a commitment from Sam Queck, who incidentally in the last Champions Trophy played the entire tournament with broken ribs. She picked up a knock in the first game against Australia, carried on, and when she had a scan when she got back, it transpired she'd broken ribs. But
yeah, tough girls. I saw Kate in the hotel last night as well, and you could see the stitches and the swelling on her mouth, but you know, totally committed to the cause and back out there.
That's nothing for her. She
no,
played
I know.
In 2012 with a broken jaw.
That was the, yeah, when I saw that hit her yesterday, it did bring back terrible memories, but yeah, she seemed to be okay last night and is a warrior.
Here goes McLaren. McLaren's into the circle. McLaren flashes it past the far post, and that is what Anita McLaren can do if you give her the space, but she's just a little wayward. That didn't miss by much. Yeah,
GB need to be smarter in their defence here. They need to just channel and keep to the sideline, and with Unsworth there allowing McLaren to come back in, and really speaking, those two on the post should be putting that into the goal.
Flynn wasn't too far away, was she?
Mary as well, just behind her.
White looking for the support. She got Townsend inside her. Townsend goes in front. Lovely little ball from Bray. That's really unlucky.
Yeah, better from GB as well. You can see them trying to get numbers around the ball and play in the two-touch hockey, which is great. So Bray into Townsend and then back out, and that's exactly what they need to do. They need to get people close together and eliminate the 2v1. Really make that happen today. Here's the shot from McLaren. Well, this goes just a little bounce on that, isn't it? The way she's caught it and skipped over the stick of both Mary and Flynn there.
I think if that's on the ground, that's 1-0 New Zealand, because it's beaten Hinch. Hinch is beaten for pace. And no surprise there, it was right up the sweet spot. Mickelson, ball had stopped, but there was no sort of definitive action from Mickelson to.
Lots of things we can already see in this first half. I mean, New Zealand playing Mickelson higher up the field again, you know, in much more of an attacking position than where we've seen her right half traditionally, and I think she can cause some real damage, as we saw in the group match against GB.
Bray along the line to Owsley. Owsley's got Townsend in the middle, fires it across. That's asking a lot to Susie Townsend. Much better from Great Britain already. Yeah,
again down to the fact that they've actually got numbers in the circle when someone's picking up the ball. This tournament we've seen just an individual having to run in and make something happen, but certainly looking as now to go towards goal and create those opportunities.
McCallan struggling to retain possession, and Ella Gunson wins the free hit. McCallan being told just to calm down in the challenge. Well, New Zealand take this free hit, so that's I'm going to just wait a second as the ball comes in. We were going to go and hear from Craig Keegan. Okay, let's hear from him now. He's with Abby.
Yeah, Craig, it's a good start for GB.
Yeah, it's a good start. We think we're in control at the moment. It's just one or two little things to tidy up, and I'm pleased the way we're going forward, definitely. Just the thing to tidy up is just how we're letting them get back in the game.
Right, thank you.
All right.
Good tackle from Owsley.
To Craig Keegan's point there, though, it's inevitable in a game like this. We know New Zealand like to go on the counter. They like to attack, and they're certainly not the kind of team that are going to sit back and allow GB come towards them time after time.
Onto the foot of Webb. Good view of the crowds on the near side. Hoping for GB success, and I'm sure looking forward to just seeing how the USA match up against Australia. You've got, well, the three most successful nations vying for top three. Argentina and the Netherlands have won this competition 6 times, so have Australia. And the USA looking for only their second medal. They medal back in 1995.
Yeah, certainly exciting day for the USA as well, trying to get that bronze medal.
Here is Bray on the reverse stick, looking for Danson, just gets underneath it. And a free out, but again, much better from Great Britain.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, good attack from Sophie Bray. You can see her again, her eyes up to try and get that cross in. You can see the intensity and the intent to try and get that ball in early.
Oh, they're in again here. Danson on the reverse stick. Danson goes cross goal, and Alex Danson gets her first of the tournament. She's been really quiet in the first 5 pool matches, but she gets Great Britain their opening goal in this 5th-6th playoff match, and Great Britain have the lead in a match for the first time at this Hockey Champions Trophy.
Yeah, you can feel it coming. Great ball through here. Lovely little pass, but Alex Danson doesn't miss many from there. You can see her throwing herself on her knees. The ball's running away from her towards the baseline, and goalkeeper will be unhappy with that going through her legs, but I know how hard Alex Danson can hit those, and from that angle and from that position, she doesn't miss many.
So Alex Danson gets her name on the scoreboard. Great Britain score in the first quarter for the first time.
But that comes from the fact, again, you know, GB are getting players higher into the circle.
Chance here for Flynn, good save from Hinch. And Sam Queck tidies up, but Maddie Hinch with a magnificent save. I think that one hurt.
That ball caught everyone out from Hayward, didn't it? What a cracking ball into the circle. Gemma Flynn completely unmarked. That's something GB really need to be aware of as the game progresses. They can't allow players to find that much space. And if it wasn't for Maddie Hinch, then it would have been an equaliser for sure.
Well, that has gone under the body armour and caught it just on the inside of the bicep. That will sting. But that's twice now that Great Britain have allowed New Zealand really good opportunities.
I think both GB and New Zealand have been caught out in this tournament, leaving players unmarked. New Zealand certainly did yesterday against the USA, and we've seen an example there where GB have done exactly the same.
Looking for a penalty corner, and they have it. Well, slightly happier perhaps with Danny Kerry, but the first penalty corner of the match goes to the Black Sticks. Well, this is their 20th in the tournament, and they've scored 3 of the previous 19. Great Britain yet to score from a penalty corner. That's 17 in the tournament.
Yeah, surprising, isn't it? I mean, you would imagine if we look at the world class, so Marcia Cowan, she scores 1 in 3, 1 in 4. Yeah, GB just don't seem to be hitting the mark on the penalty corners attack for sure.
So McLaren and Whitelock at the top of the circle. It's gone to McLaren. McLaren draws the save from Hinch, and Kylie Seymour has to duck out of the way, otherwise she's wearing it.
Yeah, McLaren from the top. I mean, from that angle she looks like she's going for a drag flick, and Gemma Flynn's just coming in there to try and get a rebound rather than it be a variation to the person running in on the right. But good save from Maddie Hinch.
Here is Flynn. Townsend has Owsley to her right if she wants it. Here is Owsley, no, because it's a good tackle from Rose Cadell. Townsend, sideline ball into Twig, gets the ball back to Quack. Webb, Richardson Walsh. Danson, lovely little touch from Danson, and Great Britain look to get round the back once again. This is Unsworth into the circle, sweep shot, and only cleared as far as Sam Queck, swing and a miss. Gibson calmly trying to clear it to Kelsey Smith by the looks of things.
Yeah, good work from Unsworth trying to get in the circle. Didn't get an awful lot of pace on that, but you can see Susanna Townsend coming in at the last minute to try and get a touch. As you say, Charlie, she looked rather calm and composed, didn't she? Just trying to kick that one away.
I'm sure Kelsey Smith was convinced it was coming her way. Anyway, this is Unsworth. Webb there's a crispness about the Great Britain passing that we haven't seen thus far. Flynn gets in, falls to Danson now. Danson with a little spin, gets it strong, cross the goal, and Housley can't get the shot on target, but Alex Danson, she's like a new player today.
Yeah, she certainly seems more confident, and I think that comes from the fact she's been able to get on the ball more. Great trap there, good spin to try and put the ball in. Lily Housley's quite wide of the goal, so she really needs to make good contact with that and get her shoulder pointing towards the left post rather than the right to really connect with it.
Card.
Johnson's not retreating 5. New Zealand's down to 10 players. 2 minutes maybe suspension.
2 minutes suspension. Ella Gunson picking up her first green card of the tournament. She picked up a yellow in the game against the Dutch when they had that miscommunication with the umpire and lost a player for 10 minutes now. Richardson Walsh into Lee, Queck. Richardson Walsh. Lovely turn now, Townsend finds Bray, good save from Gibson. And she had Housley on the far post, but Bray went herself. Housley's on possession back.
Another great opportunity here. Suzanne Townsend stealing that ball off Whitelock, moving at speed, and just finds that perfect pass to Sophie Bray. Just maybe Sophie Bray needs to take another touch to the right to eliminate that goalkeeper.
There is the quarter time hooter, and it is a quarter full of positives for Great Britain as they've taken the lead courtesy of Alex Danson. A few alarm bells as New Zealand got through the back line, but Maddie Hinch held firm, and after the first 15 minutes it's New Zealand 0, Great Britain 1. Now Sarah, much better from Danny Kerry's team, but this is a good goal.
Great finish from Alex Danson. As we said, when she gets into that danger area, she doesn't miss many of those. The precision and power of this, I mean, the ball's moving at speed towards the baseline, hence she's had to throw herself for that, and great commitment from McLeod as well. And this one took us all by surprise. Great ball in from Hayward to find Gemma Flynn completely unmarked in the circle. And if it wasn't for Maddie Hinch, that would have been the equaliser for sure.
Good ball in from Hayward.
Really great ball from right to left with really good shape on it, so disguised pass, and it's caught the defenders out from Great Britain.
Good work from Queck though to get back. Karen Brown just having a word with Maddie Hinch, and Queck in front of her, of course, who cleared the trouble. But Alex Danson with a very fine finish, and she's very good on the reverse stick. It's her preferred side. You ever see her in a shootout shoot, almost always takes it to the reverse stick.
Yeah, she loves the backhand. I mean, I think...
Oh, I'll get that thought in a minute. Let's hear from the New Zealand bench, Abby.
Yeah, Chris, saw Mark there frantically drawing away on the whiteboard. What was the instruction?
We're just going to believe in our structure. We need to go around the GB, the midfield. We're going a bit up through the middle too much, and it's just playing into their hands. So we need to believe in our structure, go around the outside, hopefully create some opportunity.
Good luck in the second quarter.
Thank you. Cheers.
Sarah, your work here is done. As Great Britain get us away again.
I think typically, though, New Zealand have been extremely powerful running through the centre. Certainly Anita McLaren, Gemma Flynn have caught many defences off guard, and going through the centre is obviously the easiest option, because then you get a better angle of shot when you get into the circle, but teams are kind of cottoned on to that now, so I think they do need to start attacking the sidelines a little bit more.
Good pressure from Bray. Cadell off the foot of McLeod. Good pressure from Bray, but Neil steers it round her to Whitelock. Whitelock picks out Mickelson, but Great Britain turn it over, and Townsend, who hasn't had too much space to use her pace, tries to feed in McLeod. It was a difficult ball for McLeod to bring under control. Lovely ball out. Oh, Hayward can't quite keep it in.
Yeah, GB pressing at the moment, getting people high and ultimately only sending the centre forward to put pressure on the centre back, and the two wingers just dropping off to prevent those half backs from getting the ball. Hence New Zealand are struggling to get the ball into those areas and trying the aerials.
Webster runs into Unsworth. New Zealand ball. Hayward to take. Sporting a rather large bruise on that left leg. Neil. Shout if you've got to take it, and she does just that. Into Gemma Flynn. Flynn takes it quickly, still going, Gemma Flynn. And she wins the penalty corner. And Flynn, a bit like Danson, has been quiet in this tournament as she's come to the fore in this match.
Yeah, great work there from Gemma Flynn. I mean, wins the free hit and takes no time at all to take that self-pass, and in doing so eliminates two of the GB defenders immediately. Kate Walsh then having to step out because those players have gone, and in doing so gives away a corner.
Well, this Holland has been a change of decision. Free out for Great Britain.
Not quite sure what happened there.
I have to say, I didn't see what happened there. I think the two umpires have conferred, and I don't think the ball moved 5 before it went into the circle. That's why it's been turned around.
So Gemma Flynn took the ball when it was just inside the dotted 5-metre line.
Well, a let off for Great Britain. Whitelock. Whitelock still going. Whitelock into the circle. A little push in the black of McLaren. Advantage being played. And Richardson Walsh is going to refer.
I'm happy with that one. Number 26.
Teammates are just getting their kit on, and I think that's a wise non-referral.
Great work from Whitelock initially, though. Look at that piece of stick skill and putting that ball into the danger area. I see what Kate Walsh is saying there in terms of Anita McLaren missing the ball, but we've seen a couple of those this tournament, and umpires are just trying to allow the game to just play on a lot more.
I don't think McLaren misses the ball if Richardson Walsh doesn't push her.
Right, okay, yeah.
So McLaren and Neil at the top of the circle. McLaren to the right, number 32. And it's into McLaren, who looks for the deflection from Gemma Flynn, but Flynn can't make the connection.
Yeah, gone for the variation there to the right-hand side. Looks as though the ball has just gone behind Gemma Flynn. Let's have a look. Yep, just gone in. Bit too far, and it's crept between her legs. Really difficult position. That need to be really patient going in on the right-hand side so time your lead. You can always go forward, you can't always go backward when you get in there.
There's another ball that's gone all the way through 2 lines of GB defence. Oh, nice goal from Webb, and then just overruns it into Hayward, and Great Britain get the free hit. Oh, unlucky from Owsley. She tries to keep it in. Whitelock with Bray in attendance, and Whitelock spins away. And Owsley gets a stick in, and here goes Bray. Bray and Owsley now on a counter-attack into Owsley, one-on-one with the keeper. Ball too far in front of Owsley, and Gibson makes the save. And Owsley's first touch, a bit like Danson's, a bit heavy, but Danson could convert because Gibson couldn't come on that occasion.
Yeah, great double press there immediately from Owsley and Bray finding Owsley nice and early, so she's in acres of space. But as you say, Charlie, that ball, she's just taken that little touch too far ahead of her, isn't able to control it and do any skill to pass the goalkeeper.
Cox looking for Merry. Here goes Merry. Merry into the circle. Merry's going to get a chance here. Webster's in support, looking for Webster. The deflection of Ansley, and Hinch makes the clearance. It's end-to-end stuff here in this 5th, 6th playoff match.
Yeah, similar opportunity there for New Zealand, finding Merry in space. I just thought as she got into that circle whether she'd just take the backhand shot, waiting in that instance and allowing Ansley to get back, and just slows it all down.
Webster, that's unlucky from Webster. She almost gets a double whammy by carrying on playing and picking up a card. That's a lovely touch around the corner from Kirsten Pearce. And Liddell up towards Sophie Cox. Cox creates a little bit of space. Ansley's there, reverse stick, goal! And it's Anita McLaren who scores on the reverse stick, and the Black Sticks are level again. Great Britain have been under a bit of pressure. The initial shot cleared by Ansley, but only as far as McLaren. And McLaren this time gets the better of Maddie Hinch.
Really good work initially from Sophie Cox. I've been impressed with her this week, especially in these instances. She uses her body so the defender's unable to get to the ball, and is really good at keeping it close to her feet and get a shot in. But Anita McLaren, here you see it, Cox turning, using her body to stop Sam Quek from getting anywhere near the ball, sets herself up for a forehand shot, and a great finish from Anita McLaren. First time, no doubt about that, bang.
It's the first time shot that allows her to beat Hinch, because Hinch just wasn't ready for it. And Hinch beaten between her legs. It'll be interesting to see Great Britain respond here. Danson to Townsend. Townsend throws it past Neal. And across comes Gunson to clear long corner, which Twig takes, looking for McLeod. McLeod with some space now on the reverse stick. McLeod, and Gibson makes the save. And no one there is the call from the umpire. This is Quek, and she's just run it over the back line. But a good response from Great Britain.
Yeah, another good attack. Hannah McLeod doing well to receive that and get something early in. Sophie Bray, as you can see, coming in, the goalkeeper, try and punt her off, but not enough.
Picked up by White, and there's a chance here for Great Britain. Quek just need to spread it out a little bit. They're all very narrow, the Great Britain attacker. There's 5 of them, all almost between the posts, aren't they?
Yeah, doing really well in terms of getting people into the circle today, but with that happening, they're having so many numbers in the circle, they haven't actually got any width from the pitch.
And now it's New Zealand's turn to have a go. McLaren, she's got some support, but she misses the target. It was Harrison outside her. McLaren took it on her own and couldn't squeeze it underneath the advancing Hinch.
Great run here from McLaren, turning Unsworth inside out. This little one here, just a little touch at the last minute, means that she gets past Holly Webb, and she's just flying towards the left-hand side. Good contact with the ball, but just wide of the goal.
Loose from Webb, but New Zealand has certainly had the better opportunities, more clear-cut opportunities.
Yeah, and in a lot of the games this tournament that, you know, they've created those chances, they've just not been able to put them away. I think they'll certainly be bolstered now by that finish from McLaren, and trying to get some more corners I think will be key for New Zealand as well.
Webb brings that one out.
New Zealand have changed their press slightly in the second quarter. In the first quarter they were they were setting up to only allow GB to attack down the right-hand side. Now they're asking them to attack through the centre a little bit more and protect the sidelines.
Twig, I thought she might have undersold Richardson Walsh. She did in a way, because Richardson Walsh had to rush the pass, and she's put it out of play for a New Zealand ball just inside GB territory. The 6 minutes of the first half remaining. It's New Zealand 1, Great Britain 1. Alex Danson giving Great Britain the lead. That's a nice exchange down the left-hand touchline. Townsend into Bray. Bray touching it on. Townsend can't get there in front of Whitelock. Whitelock up to Flynn. And Twig gives away the free hit.
Yeah, GB need to be a little bit careful now. We've seen some unforced errors in the last minute. And as GB did to New Zealand in the first half, winning that ball in midfield and countering, they have to be careful that New Zealand don't start to do the same to them.
Harrison off her foot. Helen Richardson Walsh out to Unsworth into Twig. Twig back to Richardson Walsh. Townsend can't take it with her. And King picks it up. Pearce, where's this one going to land? Unsworth with Harrison hot on the heels. Danson, lovely skill from Alex Danson. Comes back in field and leaves Cadell for dead, and Cadell's going to be picking up a card. She's running straight for the bench, not even waiting. Green card for Rose Cadell.
Great work from Alex Danson here, just sells it inside and gets that lift. Great control in a really difficult position, and Keddle's just absolutely missed the ball on that one.
Holly Webb. Owsley trying to turn it around the corner, but there's nobody down this right-hand channel.
Yeah, exactly. They really have, as a result of getting people through the centre.
Owsley's won it back. Here is Danson on the reverse stick. Cross it comes. Owsley for a second chance. Oh, she's left the ball behind, and she's squeezed it in somehow. Lily Owsley restores Great Britain's lead, but it was a bit calamitous in the New Zealand defence. Not that Lily Owsley's complaining. A little team huddle.
GB have found themselves getting most of their shots off from the left-hand side of the circle today. Alex Danson initially getting that shot in. Good rebound there from Lily Owsley, and doing really well to turn and get that shot off. You can see that she doesn't swing the stick too high given the amount of the area she's in and how difficult it is to get that shot off, but doing really well to make that happen in there.
This is the angle.
Yeah.
What does Gibson do here? She moves to her left. Yeah.
Again, difficult as a goalkeeper to see where that ball is when a player starts to turn their back towards goal, but Lily Owsley, short back space.
So New Zealand level for only 4 minutes, and they've conceded with Cadell on the bench and the naughty step, so with 10 players. Great Britain in danger of doubling their goal tally in this tournament in one match. Owsley looking for Danson, wins the free hit. Hasn't stopped the ball. So it's a reverse decision. But the umpire set her stall out now. She's got to be consistent.
Yeah, she'll have to be consistent throughout the game, but you know, it's difficult as a player. You really want to get play going and get it moving, but equally you have to respect the rules and make sure you stop that ball in those areas. You work so hard to get it there, you've got to try and keep the ball in that area to sustain pressure.
The thing is, it's in the rule book, but it's seldom policed as strongly as that, isn't it? That's the problem, and it's different from one game to another.
Yeah, I think umpires are trying to get more consistency, but
here's a chance for Merry, and it's going to fall for Flynn, and onto the foot of Webster, and Great Britain had the free out. Sorry, Sarah, to stop you in your prime.
I think they are trying to get more consistency, but ultimately it comes down to the interpretation of the umpire, and sometimes they let it go, and sometimes they don't. So as you say, Charlie, they need to be consistent from tournament to tournament, and not just during one tournament it's different to another. Players otherwise are starting to get confused.
But the definition of a stop ball is pretty clear, you'd imagine.
Yeah, and I do wonder, I think, you know, umpires and players are trying to get, you know, more people to watch the game. It needs to be exciting, and if you're blowing to stop it every time, I wonder if sometimes umpires think, oh, just play on, you know, it allows the game to flow. But actually the rule is the ball has to be stopped, and so, yeah, it's just that interpretation and gaining that consistency, not just in one tournament, but throughout the year. Well, years.
Merry, up to McLaren. McLaren to Mickelson, not much pace on the ball, but Flynn injects that pace. Here is Queck, who turns into trouble, but wins the free hit. Queck almost turning into betrayer Webster, but rescued by the whistle of Carly Seymour.
Yeah, good stuff here from Sam Queck. I mean, Betrayer Webster's extremely good. Again, that low hand to ground, we've seen it a couple of times, and unfortunately for her, she tends to get penalised for it a lot, but seems to be in really good positions, and certainly as a defender, you don't want to play against a forward like that. GB in a much better position now, got Sam Queck on the right, Lily Owsley out wide in right midfield, so really starting to stretch the game, but
McLaren down the middle, and that will go to the back line. Inside the final 45 seconds. Sam Walsh leaves that for Giselle Ansley. Nice and calm from the Great Britain defensive unit. Ansley looking to put Neil under pressure. Here's Whitelock. McLaren. So Cadell. Neil. Gunson can't keep it in play, and Townsend will leave it for Holly Webb, and they'll just run this clock down. Webb realising just a couple of seconds remain, and there is the half-time hooter. And 2 goals in that second quarter. The first from Anita McLaren to draw New Zealand level, and then Lily Owsley getting on the scoreboard to restore Great Britain's lead. And at half-time, it is the host nation that are in front. New Zealand 1, Great Britain 2.
Lily, it's so good to see you so involved in this game, and now on the score sheet as well.
Yeah, it's a good game. It's always going to be a good running game against 2 kind of fit sides. So, yeah, it's good that we finally got the lead, and it's not something we're going to let go of, and we're going to keep going hard.
And it seems like the girls are just having so much more fun out there.
Oh yeah, massively. There's a few things we needed to tweak and sort out about our play, and we're just all coming together. And it was one of those. It's not tactical. It's one of those. It's like, come on, guys, sort your shit out. And yeah, that's what we've done today, and we're showing that we are one of the best sides in the world.
Okay, I apologise for the language there, but we can tell that we're excited. I'll let you catch up there. Good luck for the second half.
Yes, understandably excited there. Apologies for that language, but Great Britain do lead New Zealand by 2-1. Great Britain finding their enthusiasm, finding their touch, but New Zealand, you can't write them off with the likes of McLaren in their side. But at the moment, it is GB 2, New Zealand 1. It's the final day of the 2016 Women's Champions Trophy, and first up it's the 5th and 6th playoff match involving Great Britain and New Zealand. It has been a pulsating first half. Great Britain going into a lead, New Zealand fighting back. Great Britain just taking the lead before the break through Lily Owsley. It's currently Great Britain 2, New Zealand 1. It really has been end-to-end stuff, reflected by 10 shots to 9 already, 11 to 10 circle penetrations, and possession, well, 53-47. New Zealand having 2 more penalty corners. Don't forget, this is just the start of this day, because then we have the bronze medal match involving Australia and the United States. That's at 4:15. And then the top 2 teams in the world, the reigning champions Argentina against the Olympic champions Netherlands at 6:30. Well, I have to say that was a brilliant first half, and if you're a Great Britain fan, it's the Great Britain side that we've been hoping to see, Marsha.
Absolutely, they're playing positive hockey, and you can see that the good starts has given them a lot of energy that they're just feeding off.
Yeah, it was interesting listening to Lily, who was saying, you know, it's not necessarily techniques, not necessarily tactics, it's just getting on with it and playing.
Absolutely, it's just, you know, doing what they do day in, day out at Bisham Abbey and bringing it here to the tournament. They've played with a little bit of flair today, one-touch hockey, knowing their next pass, which has meant we've played some fluid stuff and cut through New Zealand as it will.
Yeah, is it because the shackles are off? There's no pressure? You're not playing for a medal, you're not playing for the trophy?
No, because you're playing for a wooden spoon at the end of the day, which is actually the one thing you actually don't want from a tournament. For me, the difference has been they've varied what they've done. Sometimes they've gone down the outsides, which is what they've pretty much played all the matches previous to this. Now all of a sudden they're attacking the top of the circle and they're getting numbers into the circle, and it's their second phase that's actually been quite crucial today.
Yeah, we've been hearing the likes of Mel, Sarah and Sally saying all we need are key names to get on the ball, and Alex Danson is one of those, and she's got a great first goal.
I think she'll be pleased with this. It's a classic Alex Danson goal on the backhand. And also diving, we often see her finishing on the floor, and it just shows you that she puts a lot of effort and her whole body behind the shot at goal, making it powerful and catching the keeper unaware.
Yeah, what are they doing differently to get the likes of Danson in this game?
She just seems to be picking the ball up in better areas of the pitch. The thing with Alex is she wants to be involved in the game, and when she gets starved of the ball, she comes back deep to come and get it, and that's not really where we see the best of Alex Danson. We want her in front of goal, like Marsha says, creating those opportunities and diving and putting the ball on target.
They're actually moving the ball better. They're not dribbling with it. They're actually making good decisions when they should dribble with it and when they should run with it, and they've got the balance spot on at the moment.
Yeah, New Zealand had plenty of chances. Maddie Hinch was in great form for them, but eventually the pressure told.
Yeah, I think that Anita McLaren has done really well just with her follow-up run. The first shot is saved by the defenders, and she just first times it, and that's what we've been speaking about with the strikers in this tournament. When the ball is free in the circle, take that opportunity and play it on goal, hitting the target. And as you can see, it's again caught Hinch unprepared.
Yeah, and just before the break, we got the goal that Great Britain have been hoping for. Lily Owsley, another name that they've been desperate to get into the game.
Yeah, but again, it's a good decisions. Normally Lily would drive straight into the circle and try and take the shot herself, but she's played the ball off first. And again, you know, Amelia Gibson in New Zealand goal, she hasn't played too many games in this tournament, needed to do more. She just, rather than kicking through the ball, she almost looks like she's just putting her kicker there to block the shot. She needs to try and get as much more onto that as she can, but Lily does really well. I think New Zealand will be disappointed with their defending, but I think on the balance of play, they deserve it.
OK, let's cross to Abby now, who's running around like a lunatic around the pitch.
I am, but I'm doing it in the sun. It makes a difference. Krista, what was said last night? Well, what did the girls do? Because they've come out looking like a different team.
Yeah, I mean, we sort of obviously reflected on the loss yesterday, which we were hugely frustrated with. We just wanted to come out here today and show the belief that we have in each other, and that's exactly what the girls are doing, and I'm so proud of them.
What was said during the half-time break?
Well, just to, you know, keep doing much like what we're doing. You know, it's working out really well. We've got to have lots of stretch on the game and really just go for it. We've got one last half to really show all these home crowds what we're about, and that's what we're going to do.
Krista, thank you.
Thanks.
So changing goal for New Zealand. Sally Rutherford takes over from Amelia Gibson. Alex Danson, though, scoring her 91st international goal. 51 for England, 40 now for Great Britain. And Lily Owsley, well, she scored her 17th. 12 for England, 5 for GB. So a change of goalkeeper for New Zealand. Can they find a way back onto level terms for a second time in this game? It is Treya Webster that gets us underway in the second half. If you're just joining us, it was Alex Danson who gave Great Britain, the lead. Anita McLaren equalised on the first stick 12 minutes later, and then 4 minutes after McLaren had equalised them before, 4 minutes before half-time, Lily Owsley popped up to restore Great Britain's lead. Great Britain had only scored 3 goals in the first 5 matches in this tournament. They've scored 2 in the first half of this one. Sophie Bray with some direct running, trying to pick out Helen Richardson-Walsh, but Stacey Mickelson deep in her D, picks up off the foot of Helen Richardson-Walsh, and Kylie Seymour, an umpire on the far side, helping out her colleague on the near side. Whitelock. And the cloud has gone down. And just holding the back of that right leg. Let's have another look.
Good work from Whitelock. I mean, as a player, you has to take the ball across your body to stop the forward midfield player, whoever it might be, trying to win it off you. So good work from Whitelock.
I think she's picked up a card as well, McLeod, for that tackle, coming in from the wrong side. She has picked up a green card.
Great Britain's colour back, showing the green card to a temporary suspension. Great Britain Townsend.
Townsend with a pretty physical challenge on Sophie Cox, which is allowed to play on. And here is Danson. She's got Bray and Townsend in front of her. There's 6, 7, 8 black stick shirts back now. Twig to Ansley. Unsworth back into Twig.
Yeah, it's a difficult decision there. I mean, GB steal the ball in a really good position, but then there's no one up ahead for Alex Danson to pass to. Susanna Townsend was working really hard to try and get in front, but so were 5 or 6 of the New Zealand players, so there was no space. Just need to ensure that they've got some width. They're trying to play through the centre and the right a lot. They need to have someone on the left midfield as well as an option to transfer out, and just be patient.
If you drew a line from penalty spot to penalty spot, there isn't one player on the near side of that. And Danson has won the penalty corner off Hayward. Hayward disagrees. And the first penalty corner of the match. And they're going to go and refer this. Hayward's referring.
Dino, New Zealand referral, they're asking for no foot, please. Can you check?
Okay, looking for a New Zealand foot, thank you.
So, Dina Willocks of Australia. I think that's pretty damning evidence, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks pretty clear from that. That it's touched her foot. You can see as it comes off it, the little bounce.
Kylie?
Yes.
There is no clear reason to change your decision. Penalty corner, New Zealand lose their referral.
Well, it's hit Hayward's foot. She's the one who's referred it.
She seemed pretty clear as well, didn't she?
Yeah.
She seemed quite confident they hadn't hit her foot, but yeah, seemed to know as a player if it has or hasn't hit your foot.
Maybe she's got reinforced toe caps in those shoes.
Steel toe caps.
So Great Britain, the player lights, with an opportunity to extend their lead from a penalty corner. Remember, they've scored none from the previous 17 in this tournament. Can they find a way here? Ansley from the top of the circle, no. Richardson-Walsh, no. Unsworth, deflection, goal. Danson with her second of the match. That's a firm favourite for Great Britain. The double shift and then Danson on the deflection, and it's paid off here. And, well, we haven't seen that all week. Danny Carey with a broad smile across his face. His star strikers giving them a 2-goal lead.
Yeah, certainly a call GB tend to go to when they need it, and that's Alex Danson in the deflection. You can see there she gets herself in an absolutely great position. Great delivery in from Laura Unsworth, but Alex Danson's positions between Whitelock and the goalkeeper. You can see how flat her stick is on the floor, but doing enough to just get an angle on it to take that ball up and into the net.
Is there a lot of relief coming out in these celebrations?
Yeah, I feel that. I certainly feel that when I watch Alex Danson in particular. I mean, she's certainly fired up for the game today, but I think the relief is in the sense that they're starting to play the hockey they know they can, and that's their first penalty corner goal they've scored of the tournament. So it's just a reassurance of, hold on a minute, guys, we can still do this, we've still got it.
Poor ball from Mickelson, who's playing much deeper in this second half for New Zealand, and on past evidence it doesn't suit her or the Black Sticks from what I've seen in this tournament.
Yeah, for me, she's most certainly an extremely dangerous player, and having her higher up the field so she can use her silky skills, use her vision in and around the circle to get corners, to play people in, that is where you would want her naturally, especially when you're 3-1 down in a game.
Bray back, and there's just a spring in the step of the GB players. McLeod back into the fray. She's got Owsley inside her, but she can't find her because Neal comes across to make an important tackle. And Great Britain have scored as many goals in 33 minutes of this match as they did in the last 5 hours of play coming into this game.
It's incredible, isn't it? I mean, and what's the difference? They've gone forward, not just that they've gone forward, but they've gone forward with numbers, and they've played with a bit more structure in their build-up play as well. They've just had that tenacity about them, haven't they? The drive, I mean, you can see it on Alex Danzon's face, Sophie Brace, Susanna Townsend. They're in the game an awful lot more than we've seen this tournament, and that only has its advantages for GB.
Well, we heard Mel Clilo say at the top of the show she felt Great Britain would win this game because of Kate Richardson-Walsh, although she hasn't officially said it, possibly playing her last international on home turf.
Yeah, incredible, isn't it? I mean, you never know what will happen. We've seen some players retire, come back, retire, come back. But yeah, more than likely,
Kate being one of them.
More than likely, it will be Kate's last game in London, and that's always a poignant moment.
If it is to be her last game in London, pure speculation. Cadell looking for Smith. Ansley onto the foot of Smith. Twig. Martin gives away the free hit. Townsend. Good pass. Oh, Unsworth pulled out of it. Pearce driving, and Townsend disrupting. Webb to Danson. Danson, little look up, drops it out to Webb. Webb has a look around and then feeds it into Townsend. Townsend out to White. White up against Cox. And it is a GB ball on that far side. Webb to Quack. Past Cox. Down the line to Richardson-Walsh. Sideline ball, Danson. Turns King. Lovely bit of skill from Helen Richardson-Walsh, but just played it too far in front of her, and Brooke Neal there to get the ball out of the New Zealand circle. Gunson into Smith. Smith can't get her feet out. Webb cuts back inside, wins the free hit. Danson is available, but Hayward with some very tight marking wins possession back, and Queck steps in front of Cox to win possession back for Great Britain. Danson full length dive looking for Joey Lee, and Joey Lee just playing it onto her body.
New Zealand really struggling to just keep possession when they're playing it down the sidelines. I mean, they're trying a back three and then moving into a back four, but either way, they're not able to keep the ball and play it simple when they get into the midfield. They just need to keep people on it, get the Stacey Mickelson, Anita McLaren, get those girls on the ball, make things happen.
Well, neither of those two are on the park at the moment for New Zealand. Mickelson and McLaren having a breather.
But equally, the likes of Sophie Cox and Gemma Flynn, you know, for me, Gemma Flynn's an awesome player. She can really run at people, she can score goals, and she's really quiet in this game as well.
Well, in the first half, she stood out, but she haven't seen too much of it in the first 7.5 minutes of the third quarter. Treya Webster spinning away from Unsworth. Webster to Mickelson. Here is McLaren back onto the park. She's got some space. This is going to go, and that's good closing down from Kate Richardson-Walsh.
Let's hit a foot. Let's hit Kate Richardson-Walsh's foot from this angle.
And the umpire's just going to confer.
Whether it was inside or outside your court, was inside? Yeah.
Short corner given, and no referral from Great Britain, so good shout. Sarah?
Yeah, Anita McLaren doing what she does really well, you know, seeing how quickly she wants to get that shot off. As soon as she hits the circle line, she's getting that shot off, and that's exactly what you need. You know, you need that intensity, and it forces defenders to step into it, and in doing so, they leave their feet exposed, as we've seen there.
Lining up there, 32 McLaren, 9 Neil, 4 Merry. Really from right to left, who's going to take this on? Julia King to inject. Stopping is Gunson, McLaren's moved out of it. It's going to be Merry with the strike, and that's off Hinch's pads and into the net. They're going to refer this on over height. I think that's good height. I think Hinch has knocked that up into the net, and indeed they don't refer. And Olivia Merry has got them back to within a goal. A well-struck shot from the top of the circle that Hinch can't keep out.
Yeah, great strike from Merry. You see that little touch forward, and she gets good pace and power on that. Gone to the foot side of the goalkeeper, making it really difficult. And you see Hinch there just sticking out the left foot, and that's what's taking the ball up and into the netting and past Helen Richardson-Walsh, who stood there on the post.
Olivia Merry with her third goal of the tournament, her first from the top of the circle. It just makes life a little interesting in this 5th, 6th playoff match. New Zealand 2, Great Britain 3. Little touch from McLeod, trying to find Townsend. Back inside, looking for Mickelson. Mickelson again. Off Joey Lee's body, free hit. Crack forward from Hayward, looking for Webster. Queck takes possession.
Hayward's put some really nice long balls through today. She can see where their forwards leading into. She can see the space and plays it nicely in. She's the girl who played the ball in the first half to Gemma Flynn.
Yeah, she has not a bad game. Is it interesting to get your thoughts on this? So obviously New Zealand have a leadership group within their team, because we see the captain's armband being passed around between Whitelock, Mickelson, McLaren. Your thoughts? Are you in favour of passing the captain's armband round, or would you just have one person?
What's my thoughts? For me, I think it's better to have one captain who you know is going to be on the field. I think it's all well and good having a leadership group, because it's good to have different perspectives within the team. And I know sometimes teams opt for some of the younger players and some of the older players, so you have that different perspective. But yeah, for me, when you're on the field, it's nice to know that you'll have the same person wearing the captain's armband, and that's the person you'll go to.
We were just discussing this. We saw New Zealand in Rosario. Anita Punter she was then, and McLaren was the skipper, and she had a really good tournament, didn't she? She sort of drove, and almost like the captain armband inspired her a little bit. And here she hasn't been at that level. You know, I'm only putting it out there. Maybe it's something to do with the armband.
Yeah, I mean, it may or may not give her more confidence, but I think when you're on the field at this level, you all have to be leaders anyway. But it's just good to know that for certain decisions, or when you have to come into a huddle or the game's not started well, that it'll be one voice on the field, and that's a consistent voice, because obviously you get used to the way that person speaks, the way they deliver a message, and it's just important for that consistency, because you want to play well the whole time. Therefore, in my opinion, it's better to have a captain who's consistent.
Little touch in, the twig is there. Oh, that's an important touch. Oh, Cadell almost taking it away from Danson. She has the ball now. Townsend up against King. Cadell doubling up. Long corner for Great Britain. Also, presumably, if you have one captain, they know what buttons to push in order to get a certain person playing to a certain level, or to inspire them if they're not there. And not everybody's going to have the same manner of delivery, are they?
Yeah, exactly. Although I think, you know, the point of having a leadership group is the fact that different people respond to different needs, and so some people will be more likely to listen to one person rather than another, depending on their relationship with that person. So I do see why teams do it, but my preference is certainly to have that one voice and that consistent voice.
Lovely skill from Laura Unsworth, but as she plays up to McLeod, Great Britain can't retain possession. Neal into Mickelson. Mickelson turns Unsworth. Here is Flynn now. Can she get it strong? Shovels it round the corner. Follow up. It's still there, and it's across the face of goal and away. Kirsten Pearce with the opportunity. Webster and Owsley tangle on the top of the circle. In fact, it's Kelsey Smith and Owsley tangling on the top of the circle. But a real opportunity there for New Zealand to get back on level terms, and you feel there are more goals in this game as it comes into the circle. Penalty corner.
Yeah, it just goes to show, doesn't it, you know, when the likes of Mickelson do get on the ball, what they can create. That's a perfect ball into Gemma Flynn. Beautiful pace of it, and Gemma Flynn's got the awareness as well that Pearce is unmarked there.
I think Great Britain are going to refer this, I think, for 5 metres there.
Okay. Dino, we're looking for a stick check on New Zealand. Can you check for me?
So GB referral for a stick check by New Zealand?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, let's see.
They're looking at the whole thing. Yep, they're looking at the whole thing.
Oh, has it gone 5? Where's the free hit from?
So they're looking at Mary coming in there on Kate Richardson-Walsh and whether she's taken a stick, not the ball.
Well, if you see from the, we need the other angle from there, because here we go. Oh, she does put the stick up and underneath Richardson-Walsh's stick there.
Has she nicked the ball a little bit though as she comes through? Because if she has, then
Well, it has to be stick first, surely. The way the ball's coming from has to be stick first, doesn't it?
yeah, she's gone under the stick there and the ball's just bobbled up then. Yeah, I'm not sure they'll give a penalty corner for that.
I'll wait and see. Richardson-Walsh takes the ball and then, oh, maybe not, maybe not.
It just comes off there though. That's, see, the Kate stick just comes off it at that moment. That.
Oh no, that's after. That's after.
Hey Steph?
Yes.
I have a decision for you. The New Zealand player took the stick of the GB player before playing the ball. It is a free hit out. GB keep their referral.
Good referral from the skipper.
Yeah, great referral. I mean, that could have been absolutely key, couldn't it? At a time you need to just run this third quarter out now.
Townsend trying to get the better of Neal. Almost came up the blind side. McLaren now into space. McLaren driving to the circle, playing it in. First time from Merry, good save from Hinch. She was aware of what was coming. And denies New Zealand once more.
Yeah, I think you've got to do a lot more if you're up against Maddie Hinch. You've got to move that ball. You can't just hit it straight at her. For me, Mary needs to just move the ball at a different angle there and try and find the bottom right.
Mickelson into the circle, pulls it back, penalty corner off Unsworth. Either that or hit it very hard and beat it for pace.
Yeah, but she's so close to her, so I think it's very difficult then, because Maddie's quite a big presence to get that ball past Maddie. As you see this come in, I'd be saying for Mary either to pull on her forehand strong and then place that on her forehand bottom right, because I feel like it's just difficult from that angle to do that as a player, but good response there.
No doubts about that penalty corner. And again, McLaren, Neal, Merry, Whitelock all at the top of the circle. This time Neil drops out, McLaren goes away. Mary's going to have another go at this. Mary strikes, and this time the #1 runner, Lily Owsley, gets there, falls to Whitelock. Whitelock on the reverse stick. Wide of the target, 16.
Yeah, from Whitelock here, trying to get a shot onto goal. It's gone off the bar, as we heard from the Netherlands coach yesterday about Liede Vijvelten, how the coach had said to her, you know, you've got to get these on target. There's no use to us if it's going over the bar, and it's exact same sentiments there. You've got to try and get something on target, and even if it doesn't go in, you've got to play off the rebounds.
Well, when Velton did find the target yesterday, she scored.
Yeah.
Be careful, Webb. Holly Seymour hunting it back. So Holly Webb is okay. Fired in from Cordell. And 16. Final throws of the third quarter. Great Britain came into the half leading 2-1. Danson extended their lead to 2 before Merry got it back. We're back to 1 goal. Mickelson, Cox. Dink to Flynn. Flynn into Richardson Walsh in long corner. Mickelson takes into Cox. Cox squeezes it across, up off the stick of Richardson Walsh. And it's a free hit to New Zealand. Mickelson lifting it into the circle, still going. Mickelson up into the knee of Helen Richardson Walsh. That is the 3-quarter time hooter, and this game still on a knife edge. Danny Carey, though, has been smiling more in this game than he has in the previous 5, because his team are in front with 15 to go. New Zealand 2, Great Britain 3. Well, Sarah, it's been a very enjoyable game, this one.
Yeah, it's been exciting, hasn't it? I mean, both teams have been creating opportunities and, more importantly, getting shots towards goal, which is always great as a spectator.
This is the 3rd goal for Great Britain, Danson's 2nd. And this is a well-struck shot from the top of the circle by Olivia Merry.
Yeah, she's certainly got hold of that. Just caught the left pad of Maddie Hinch, and that's taken it up and into the netting to give New Zealand their 2nd goal.
So Mark Hager with his final team talk, doing a match of this 2016 Hockey Champions Trophy. Okay, Richardson Walsh leading from the front again. Okay, I think we can hear from Danny Carey, who's with Abby.
Yeah, Danny, the girls are playing so well, but there's only a goal in it. What was your advice then?
They've got to go back to where in the first half. There's got to be a little bit more purposeful to the things. So purposeful in defence, purposeful on the ball on the way forwards. At the moment, New Zealand have pushed us back in the last 5 or 10 minutes. We're playing with a player short today through injury, and so we need to be on the front foot rolling New Zealand back, not the other way around.
Thank you.
Good to hear from Danny Carey. And Great Britain do need to try and reassert themselves if they are to win this one in regulation time. Remember, if we are level at full time, we do go to a shootout. Gunson to Harrison. Sideline ball for Great Britain.
Yeah, to Danny's point, GB need to keep doing what they did in the first half in terms of playing the ball forward. They did extremely well in the first half of getting numbers higher up the field, and now you can start to see that players are in isolation up there again. But equally, that comes from New Zealand and how well they're doing in terms of pushing forward and getting their numbers higher up. It's a real game of cat and mouse.
Whitelock, the first touch wasn't great, but she's got it under control now. Here's McLaren back to Whitelock. Whitelock under pressure from McLeod. And New Zealand really pushing high. Gunson off Webb to Mickelson, who's almost the last line of defence for New Zealand. surely if they want to get back into this, she's got to play further up the park.
I know, I do wonder how Mickelson feels. I mean, one minute she's up front and getting into the circle, and the next she's played in defence. Although saying that, she does have a bit of a free role as a right defender to attack and do that, but it does leave them really vulnerable. There's an enormous amount of space behind their back line.
You've got 19 players packed into that little space, and Mickelson is the one person you feel who's got that close skill.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I wonder. I can imagine that.
Good work from Flynn onto the foot of Helen Richardson-Walsh and wins the penalty corner.
I mean, I can't imagine personally defending is more fun than being in attack and, you know, the one who's creating the opportunities, especially when she has that level of skill she does. Good work from Gemma Flynn here, bringing the ball down, controlling it and just finding that foot.
Big discussion. Flynn peels away, Mickelson to inject. McLaren and Whitelock at the top of the circle. Mickelson to inject. And it comes. Whitelock looking for the deflection, and it's easy as that. Kelsey Smith deflects New Zealand back onto level terms.
Great goal from New Zealand. I mean, you can see McLaren at the top. The penalty flick doesn't go because the #1 runner is so good, and so they've gone for the option of deflection from Kayla Whitelock, and that is an absolutely perfect delivery. It's bang on the stick of Kelsey Smith, and so all she has to do is angle her stick a little bit to get that one up and above Maddie Hinch and into the goal. It's a superb well-worked corner.
Really enjoyed that one. A little smile from the Australian. And we have a 13-minute shootout for 5th and 6th. Probably no less than New Zealand deserve. As well as Great Britain have played, New Zealand played well in the first half without getting the luck.
Yeah, they've done really well. I genuinely believe that. I mean, in other games in this tournament, they've created an awful lot of opportunities, New Zealand, but been unable to put them away. I think they'll be happy today with how well they've done in the circle and how well they've managed to score goals, such as Anita McLaren's first one. They took it really quickly and had some real pace and zip about it.
Townsend up to McLeod. Chance here, McLeod on the reverse stick. Falls to Owsley. Owsley gets it strong. Oh, into Alex Danson's face. Danson getting low to try and deflect it, and that has gone straight into her face. She's okay, she's moving, just needs to take her time. She's talking, that's good to see. But that has been slapped from Owsley, and Danson's won that from a couple of metres, and it's a real hush around the stadium. Let's have another look at it. It was good incisive attacking play here from Great Britain, but as it comes around here...
Oh, yeah.
Danson okay.
That's good to see. Alex Danson doesn't get much luck.
Oh, it's come off her arm first onto her head. So, as good as things can be,
yeah,
that's as good as it can be.
If
she takes that square in the head,
that's
going to be real trouble. So fortunately for her, it just hits the forearm before coming up into her head. She'll be shaken, and hopefully she'll return to the park.
Yeah, as I was saying, she doesn't have an enormous amount of luck. I mean, she's been out with a thumb injury for a long period of time, and that came from one of her teammates hitting her in training as well. Yeah. So yeah, good to see her up and about.
Mickelson loses Owsley, can't get traction. Hayward, McLaren, and just a little bit of ice going on, but she'll be okay, I'm sure.
No, there's nothing there.
Townsend. Oh, what a ball from Townsend, and Lily Owsley not too far away from getting on the end of it. Does she not anticipate enough, or does that a little combination of perhaps too hard?
Yeah, great vision from Susanna Townsend. I mean, Sophie Bray and Lily Owsley were both an option, and Yeah, I'm not sure if Lily thought she was going to go to Sophie, but she deceived her as well.
Hayward with this sideline ball, the final quarter of this 5th-6th playoff match. Neal to Cadell. Dink round the corner. Hayward, lovely ball. McLaren picks it up. McLaren driving into the circle. Webb has to get out of the way. McLaren across goal. Merry, oh, that's going wide. And then Hinch plays it back into the danger zone. And Great Britain get away with that one.
Good work from McLaren, though. New Zealand doing really well to trap that on the backhand, and very sensible from McLaren, knowing that Holly Webb has to be 5 metres. Goes run straight through her and is immediately in the circle. You can see her just run straight through her. Steadies herself on the baseline. That comes up off a stick and in there, but Maddie Hinch.
She's completely out of the goal here.
She's gone, yeah, completely to the left-hand side as she sees it. Nervy moment.
McLaren wins the free hit. And Great Britain have just lost their mojo in this game.
Yeah, New Zealand doing a lot more attack, doing really well to come around the sidelines rather than straight through the middle, as we discussed earlier. And actually in doing so has forced GB back, and the numbers are all back behind the ball. It's not a player who wasn't in the 25 defensive area then for Great Britain.
Well, a good defensive effort though on that occasion. Oh dear, well that's good chasing down from Pearce into the circle from Harrison, but Twig is there on the top of the circle to snuff out any danger, but again, just a little loose from Great Britain. Another loose touch almost puts them into trouble. Pearce looking for McLaren, and Webb wins the free hit. It's bouncing around like a pinball on the edge of the Great Britain circle, and now Danson back on. Danson with a chance in front of Neal. Here comes Danson, good save from Rutherford. Rutherford just getting it with her left arm. Danson breaking away, doing well to maintain her balance under the challenge from Neal. Webb taking it off McLaren. Here is Sophie Bray into Danson, up against Neal again. Here goes Danson, what a goal! Alex Danson completes her hat-trick with a wonder goal. Brilliant stuff from the Great Britain striker.
Absolutely amazing from Alex Danson. You can see her just get that little lift over the stick of the New Zealand defender, but the quality, class bit of this is how composed she is to get that ball over and above the New Zealand goalkeeper Sally Rutherford. Look at this for a piece of skill. The ball's quite ahead of her, managed to just get that little lift through, but look at this, look at the quality of that, the commitment. She's even looking at that ball on the floor as it goes above Rutherford and into the back of the goal to make it 4-3. Fantastic finish.
An absolute blinder from Alex Danson, and from this angle as well, to control that and have enough to get it up and under the bar is superb, and Danson restores Great Britain's lead. It's a goal fest in this 5th-6th playoff match. Great Britain coming again, Danson. No one there in red, it goes all the way across.
Better from GB though, got more numbers high up the field and really starting to get this crowd behind them now, with real buzz about it.
Big blow of the whistle. Quack.
Now that's a fantastic turn by Webster, I think it was, but wow, Sam Quek, I mean, getting back to steal that ball. We saw it yesterday, I think it was, against Australia. She missed out on one, but never gives up. Real persistence and resilience to get back in there. Great shave tackle, great strength with the one hand to get a free hit for her team.
And Richardson Walsh. Ball into the top of the circle. Ansley's. Oh, Richardson Walsh, sorry, has picked up a not Whitelock. Can New Zealand find another equaliser? They've been behind 4 times now. Or 3 times, 3 equalisers found. Now, Hayward. Well, that's one that hasn't come off. They're really putting the press on New Zealand as Quack plays it up that right-hand line. Joey Lee. Great Britain not in any particular hurry to take this one. You can see there New Zealand shading the circle penetrations. Here is McLeod. No, it falls to Danson. Now Danson up against Hayward. And good work from the New Zealand defender. Flynn onto the top of the circle. Quack comes across as Julia King was about to come in, but it's come off her leg, is it? And it's a penalty corner. Number 6 of the match for New Zealand.
Great spell of counter-attack hockey from both teams, and Gemma Flynn doing really well to compose herself, get in the circle. She could see the player inside, Sam Quek trying to get there, but wow, what commitment there from Julia King, who's traditionally a defender, to put that on Sam Quek's foot.
McLaren, Neal, Whitelock again at the top of the circle. He scored 2 from the top of the circle. McLaren's peeled away. Whitelock, deflection, it's there, off the post! Off the post from Mickelson. And Great Britain survive.
They've gone for Whitelock at the top again for delivery. You can see Webster, I think it is, throwing herself in there. She's just caught it on the head of her stick rather than the middle of it. And then Mickelson's unable to get in the goal and has hit the post. Has Maddie Hinch got a little touch on that?
Couldn't see from that angle, but New Zealand within a whisker of drawing level once more. Cadell up against McLeod. Cadell or McLeod with a horrible looking tackle. Cadell continues to run into the circle, trying to pick out the run of Sophie Cox, and McLeod is going to go. And the pulling the keeper. Rutherford is off, and the kicking back is on. It's Ella Gunson wearing the green bib. There she is. So just over 4 minutes for New Zealand to try and utilise the extra player.
New Zealand did extremely well, didn't they, against USA the other day when they pulled the keeper off and went to a kicking back and had 4 or 5 penalty corner defence.
Owsley just down that right-hand side, trying to feed it in. And the free hit on the circle edge. Good reading from Pearce. Oh, they had Brooke Neal, didn't they?
She was
the
superb.
USA. But they changed at a better time. Yesterday they changed when they were facing a sideline ball and almost immediately conceded the penalty corner.
Yeah, that wasn't so smart. But in terms of defending the penalty corners, they survived four or five of them and did it really successfully. And that will certainly give them confidence if they have to do the same at Rio.
Well, I think they'll probably do this. Gunson came on wearing the bib yesterday. When they conceded the first penalty corner, they changed the bib to Neil.
To Neil, yeah. She's the one who puts the helmet on.
Webb. Body obstruction. Free hit to New Zealand. 2.5 remaining. New Zealand now got to throw everything forward. King to Gunson. Here is Cadell. Cadell. And spin back in. Got no support. And here is Gunson. Neil. Hayward on this right-hand side. Can she deliver another one of these wicked balls? Just rolls it in the top to Mickelson, who deflects it into the circle. And Whitelock just let it bounce as and Hinch clears left-footed to Unsworth, who just cracks it up the park and asks New Zealand to come again from deep. And it goes all the way off for a 16.
Yeah, you can see the New Zealand girls screaming to bring the ball up. They need to be clever now in terms of how they use this extra player on the field. They need to push someone forward extra.
King to Cadell. The middle looking for Mickelson. Here is Mickelson. Quack though gets nice and low. Quack. Cox in front of her. Great. Richardson Walsh. Sideline ball. Final 80 seconds. Richardson Walsh loses possession. Mickelson last minute, and Mickelson couldn't find McLaren. Quack gives away the free hit which Mickelson takes. Mickelson looking for McLaren. Here is McLaren. McLaren driving to the circle. The sea parts, but she doesn't go across goal. Webster committed to the far post. McLaren went near post and is behind for a 16.
What a ball from Mickelson though to evade the defenders. Great pick up from McLaren at speed. You see the ball's just that little bit far out in front of her, and you can see her telling herself off, and again that ball on target and or across the goal to someone diving in on the far post.
Cadell up to Cox. Cox needs to get this one into the circle. Here it comes. Quack can't bring it under control, just cracks it off the side of the park. This has got to come in from Cadell. Oh, Cadell puts it to Neil. Neil winds one up, and Townsend puts it off the end of the park, and Great Britain will finish with a win. The final hooter sounds, and Alex Danson's goal, a goal worthy of winning any contest, is the difference between the two sides. A hat-trick for the England striker, who scored a hat-trick here in the Lee Valley against Germany in the European Championships last August, where she's treated the British fans to another superb attacking display and saved her best for last. New Zealand played a full part in a really enjoyable match, and again perhaps might feel a little hard done by. They didn't come away with at least a draw, but Danson, who's been quiet really by her standards up until this match, announced herself with real style to score a hat-trick. The other goal for Great Britain, for Owsley. For New Zealand, the goal scorers were Merry, Smith and McLaren. Final score, New Zealand 3, Great Britain 4.